So here's what you're going to learn during the webinar. And it's probably going to take, maybe like 45 minutes or less, because I'm going to leave some time for any questions that you have at the end. But make sure at the end, if you do have questions, just write them down and save them for the end of the presentation. But some of the things, what you're going to learn during this webinar is the $1 trillion secret to small businesses. What small businesses should know about this $1 trillion secret, how I landed my first $70,000 in contracts, how much the government spends with small businesses, and what you need to do to participate in this $1 trillion industry.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm gonna ask you is to silence your phone and just get focused, because I'm gonna share a lot of information in a little bit of time. Let me see, I'm trying to figure out how to mute. Can't mute. 1 second. There we go. Okay, so I just muted your phone for a second. So yeah, I'm gonna share a lot of information in a little bit of time. So definitely you want to just, take notes, take good notes. So this is for entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, freelancers. If you have a side hustle, this works for you. People who are small business owners, and anybody who's an employee, but who's depressed about their job. That's definitely something that you want to see or learn about, is government contracting. So this is for just about anybody who's interested in being their own boss, basically. Just to give you a little bit about myself, I grew up in Baby Hunters Point, which is from San Francisco. It's a inner city part of San Francisco, which is like one of the last Black communities here that's existing, and we're still being pushed out, gentrified. So gentrification is definitely real across the globe. I'm the fourth of 7 children who grew up in a single family household. So, my mom raised 7 of us. And so it was a struggle. We didn't have a whole lot of money. We didn't have a whole lot of resources, but she worked very, very hard. I guess she was like the hardest working person or woman that I've ever met in my life. And so just being able to see her be a champion with 7 kids and do it by herself, that taught me how to make the best out of any situation. And so I also know that I wanted a lot out of life, and to not just settle for average. So here's what I want you to do. Imagine building, here's somebody's background. Okay. Oh, Andrea, I see you. Welcome to the call. We're just getting started. In fact, and I see 1, 2. So welcome to the call. I'm just muting everybody's audio right now, but I'm going to take some time towards the middle to have everybody introduce themselves, to do a brief introduction. But here's what I want you to do. Imagine having $1 million business. Really, having $1 million business is just all about the math. So how do you do that? $1 million math plan. When I saw this by my mentor, it just pretty much simplified it. So no matter what it is that you do, can you package your services? If you're a life coach, can you put together a bundle of services to create like a $2,000 package, right? $50 products, you would have to have 20,000 sales to make $1 million. But if you package your products to like $1,000 packages or $1,000, then that's 1,000 sales. That's $1 million. So $2,000, all you have to make is like 500 sales to make $1 million. And so when I saw this math for my business, and this is just like a side note, anybody could build $1 million business. It's just all about the math and then packaging your services to make these numbers. So here's what I want you to imagine. Building your business in a way that is fundable so that you can leverage business credit and business loans, right? And then also positioning your business to win large government contracts. Okay, all of this is possible. The way that you set your business up in the beginning, if you hit all the marks, if you position your business with all the things that's necessary, from having a business office, getting the EIN, a Dun & Brad, all of those things that set you up for your business to be a fundable business, is the same thing that makes you eligible for contracting. So, so really you would just have to set your business up. Wait 1 second. Mute. set your business up right in the first place. So here's some I'm sorry, I don't even know how did I just skip all of those pages. Okay, so if I could show you how to land 8% of a $12 million opportunity, just think about it. You don't have to answer it, but just think about the answer. Would that help your business? 8% of $1 million, right? So 8% of of a $12 million opportunity, and this happens all the time, that's close to $1 million. So if you land one contract, basically with government contracts, you can meet that $1 million goal, right? So you have your sales, you have your contracts, you have your credit, you have your business loan. So you can make a multi-million dollar business if you know and understand how to do that. So what makes my program different from all other small business training programs is that I personally share secrets of what made me successful in business. And these secrets is what's designed to help small businesses, but nobody knows about it. And most people who have heard about it, it just seems like such a huge mystery, right? But government contracts is something that's real. It's public information, but it's hidden in plain sight. It's information that you can actually research and it's out there. But small businesses are missing the mark because they don't know about this. So because of the success I've had with government contracts, I decided that I wanted to share this. And I still do government contracting, but I just wanted to share this information with other small businesses because I want to see them win, especially minority and women-owned businesses. I want to see them take advantage of opportunities that's out there for them. So you're in the right place if you're thinking, I want to start my own business, but I don't know how, right? I have a program to show you how to start your own business. Can I really start my own business and not have to worry about stability? Or maybe you're already in business and you're balancing out, can I do this full time for myself? You don't have to worry about financial stability once you understand how to go out and get these contracts for yourself. Can I be successful working for yourself? Working for myself? Absolutely, you can. And is there something out there to help me get ahead as a small business? Absolutely. Does the government really buy the products and services that I provide? Yes, they do. The government agency buys everything that civilians buy, from water to mops to cleaning supplies, everything, cameras, everything. You would be surprised. Hair, you will be surprised at the type of contracts that are available for small businesses. And what I'm going to do towards the end is I'm going to pull up just 5 random industries just to show you how this could be for anybody, no matter what industry you're in. You can participate in this contracting opportunity. So first, what I want to do is remix 3 common misconceptions about business. So here's the first misconception about businesses, especially small businesses. You should plan to make 0 profit. How many times have you heard that? You should plan to make 0 profit in your first 1 or 2 years of business. That's crazy. And if you go to like the SBA, Small Business Administration, or some of these small business hubs, they'll tell you this. Plan to make 0 profit. And they know about government contracting, but they're not going to share that with you. But they're going to tell you to plan to make 0 profit in your first 1 or 2 years of business. So the misconception is that you can't go into business being profitable on day 1. And you can. So what happens is when people go into business with this mentality and the outlook, because of the natural ability to make things happen, we also can make things not happen for us. So what happens is when you think about the laws of the universe, what you put out is what you get in. What you ask for is what you get. So the energy, if you put out energy that says, I'm not going to be profitable in the first 2 years of my business, I'm going to make 0, right? Then guess what you're going to get? You're going to get 0 results, 0 customers. You're going to get exactly what you're asking the universe for. So the truth is, you can start a business with less than $500 and easily make that back within your first product or service sale with government contracts. In fact, the contract is going to be 20 to 30 times the amount that you invest in starting your business. And you can easily make that back in like 2 to 3 hours of work. So contractors make more than employees. What's a contractor? That's basically a professional service provider or an independent person who works for themselves. So when you do a contract, you're considered a contractor. So we make 2 to 3 times more than employees make because you can charge more and you get to take home more money and also get a business write-off. So being in business for yourself is beneficial. Here's another second misconception about business. So all the business funding programs are designed to help men. That's a huge misconception. So the misconception is that there's nothing out there for women, which is false. And what happens is that people start this rumor without doing any due diligence, and they're saying, and the saying becomes the norm. So people, I heard a lady, a few months ago during a seminar that I did, a workshop, and she asked me, well, why are all the funding programs for businesses designed for men? I'm like, that's not true. So the truth is, there's not only grants set aside for women-owned businesses, but trillions of dollars in government contracts that's set aside just for women-owned businesses. That's how I was able to land contracts, because I'm a woman. But also there's contracts for you if you're a minority. So you can be a woman-owned woman-owned business and also a minority-owned business and win both ways. And if you are a Native American heritage, there's contracts for that. If you are a disabled veteran, there's contracts for that, for those as well. I just posted on my Facebook page. I think it was like a $50 million contract for a disabled veteran to go clean up a homeless encampment. So when disabled veterans are out there on the streets and they're saying, feed me, I'm hungry, I don't have no place to go, there's opportunities for them to get contracts like that. So it's just like, it's all about the hustle. You can win if you really want to. So, and I'm gonna show you just for an example. This is real data. It comes from USA Spending. So it's a government website. And these are federal contracts that was awarded to women-owned businesses between 2008 and 2017. So if you look at the numbers in the top left, it says 600 trillion. This is in the trillions. $600 trillion was awarded to women-owned small businesses in 2017. Now, to date, in 2018, there's 589 million to date that's been awarded, and they have to meet, this $1 trillion budget before December. So there's several contracts that's out there and set aside for women-owned small businesses. So this is just to demystify the myth that there's nothing for women to help women in business. And there's statistics for minority businesses, veteran-owned businesses, Indian businesses, all of that. And here's another misconception that I want to bust. You have no competition. So a lot of times we go into business and we think that, I'm unique and nobody has ever thought of this. I'm the only one that provides this service. Okay. There's, in this big old world and universe that we live in, somebody else thought of what you're thinking of or what you do as well. However, you have the benefit of delivering something unique because of who you are as a person. So no matter what it is that you do, there's another business out there that is your competition. However, they can't deliver it the way that you can deliver it. They're not going to package it the way that you package it. They're not going to brand it the way that you brand it. So everybody has competitors. But even myself, like, I'm a strong believer that what God has for me is for me. And that's why I share information like this with everybody. It doesn't matter if you're a photographer like me, if you do media like me, if you build websites like me, I still share the information because it's enough money on the table for everybody to win, right? And I have my own unique brand and way of delivering services that nobody else is going to bring to the table. So with government contracts, sometimes the contracts are so tremendous and so large that you have the opportunity to turn your competitors into your partners. So instead of competing with other businesses, you can work together on projects. And I've done that several times. So let's get into the meat of things. So here we go. With getting certified in government contracts, this is the $1 trillion secret that most small businesses do not know about, have not ever heard of. And you may not even will not have ever heard of it unless you've seen something that I posted. Small business certifications. Here's a fact. Did you know that every government agency, private corporation, has an obligation, right? That's not you have a choice. You have the option, but it's an obligation to give a certain percentage of all of their contracts to certify small businesses. That's huge, right? So typically any business that has under 50 employees and making under 14 million is considered a small business. And so companies that make much less than that, say you haven't even hit the 6 figures yet, The guidelines for micro small businesses is much less. So, and there's contracts set aside for micro small businesses. So the point of the story is, say for instance, the Pacific Gas and Electric Company procures over 200 million per year for services. Procurement means they give out contracts, right? And these contracts could be from anywhere from providing paper, pencils, cleaning, janitorial. It could be marketing, whatever. And if their mandated goal is to give 6% to a certified woman-owned business or a minority-owned business, right, or a disadvantaged business, what that would mean for you is that there's $12 million on the table for you to be a part, to partake in. There's $12 million on the table for you to be a part of that particular contract. So what you're going to do, you're going to look at it and say, oh, that's good information. Or are you going to position your business to go ahead and submit a proposal and get a piece of that so your business can grow, right? So here's another part of the $1 trillion secret. Government spent to date in 2018. The last data that I showed you that was set aside for women-owned business, this right here is just for small businesses overall to date in 2018. So this is 2 trillion, 554 million, or wait, billion, trillion, billion, 405 million, 517,000. So that's a lot. So if you look at the chart to the left, it says 2.5 trillion. The T stands for trillion. That's a lot of money. And they haven't even hit the mark of what they need to spend before the year is out. So that means there's a lot of opportunities out here for small businesses. It doesn't matter what it is that you do, what industry you're in. You just have to find a way to position your business, or I'm going to show you the way or how to position your business to go after those contracts. And sometimes you have to think outside the box. Say, for instance, sometimes people, sometimes you might be like, there's a young lady that I know who's in the hair business. So she does hair. So you might find something that is not considered hair, but it might be for beautification or something like that. Because I seen a contract and it was like a $200,000 contract for a hairstylist to go into the prisons and do hair and beautify the women that are in prison. And it was for like a 6-month period. So 200,000 in a 6-month period, that's huge. So sometimes you have to think outside the box. Another example for me, I'm a photographer, but I have a multimedia company. So that includes photo, video, web, and graphics. So as a photographer, this is when I first started my business, I was only doing photography. There's trillions of dollars in contracts in construction, right, that the government funds. And so for me, I can go after that because they need minority-owned businesses on those projects. They need women on those projects. And so that's how I got into construction photography, because I have my certifications to help these companies and agencies meet their goals, their mandated goals, their obligations, to help them. Right. So it was just thinking outside the box. So instead of thinking, oh, photography, let's do weddings and school photos, I'm thinking outside the box now. And I'm like, construction, you need pictures of that. So everywhere up in the city where I see cranes, I know there's money involved in that. And I know I can be a part of that. Right. So here's another part of my story. When I first started my business, I was struggling, trying to find customers, because I was thinking, friends, family, do parties, do weddings and all that. So from customer to customer, it was a real struggle until I discovered this right here. This knowing about, government contracts has helped my business to evolve into a multimedia company, not just photography, but videography. I wasn't, videography, web and graphic design is all related, multimedia, but I saw contracts and opportunities for myself. And so I've grown beyond just photography. And so for me, it was important for me to be able to be financially independent, because I was going through, a bad divorce at the time, where my husband left with and then had the car repossessed, all that stuff, knowing that I was a soccer mom and I took our kids everywhere that they needed to go. So here I am with no car, no nothing, but luckily I had been building this business, and I had recently discovered this the contracting industry. And so like right after he left, I kid you not, that's when I landed my first $70,000 in a contract. That's one contract, and it was just to provide photos over a 7-month period. Once, it was like twice a month, basically. It was like twice a month. And so my day only consisted of like 2 to 3 hours twice a month. So we're talking about less than 10 hours a month for a 7-month period. That's 70 hours of work for like $70,000. That was huge for me. So that right there showed me that this is so real, right? And anybody can do it. That's the part that I want you guys to get, that anybody can do it. And so for me, and not only was I able to go out and purchase my dream car and get a car for my kids, so I don't have to worry about depending on anybody, but I became financially independent. This is my baby. These are both my babies, a Land Rover and a Benz. Like, I only say that I'm not really into like the names of every or any like big name cars or anything like that, but I got it because I felt like that was a power move for me to be able to cash out on vehicles. I customized my license plates now. These are old photos. They say no note 1 and no note 2 because for me it means a lot. So here's more information about the contract that I was on. It was a $70,000 contract for Transbay Transit. They did a write-up on my business because I played an intricate role. So and if you don't know what the Transbay Transit is, it's like the Grand Central Station of San Francisco, basically. So it's the hub for all transportation to come. The new bullet train, Caltrans, BART, all that stuff. It's the hub for all transportation to go through. And so me being a part of the very beginning and taking photos from the beginning to the end, like that's historical documentation that I was able to be a part of that. And so it wasn't because they liked my work, because when I got this contract, I didn't know what the heck, going from wedding photography to construction, I didn't know what the heck I was, what the heck I got myself into, what to do, none of that stuff. But I faked it until I made it, So I went out and I took pictures, and then they say, yeah, good work. And so I just repeat, I just repeated everything and landed additional contracts. And so since then, I've gotten multiple contracts, but these are just 3. So, and these are all for like less than 60 days of work. So if you look at the bottom, this recent contract that I got was a $35,000 contract, and it's to provide less than 60 days of work doing photos for doing photography. And this is just construction photography. And so what it is just like I said, my hours on the site is usually like 2 hours and plus 1 hour to just process the photo. So that's like 3 hours of work for 60 days for 35,000. And then you see another one that's 61,000, another that's 25. So they go, they get bigger, but I felt more comfortable doing the small contracts, but they have large contracts. In fact, I'm on a team who just won a $9 million contract. And so I get a portion of that just providing photography and video services. And that's a huge, like 6-figure contract for me. But the reason why I'm sharing all this information is because I want you to see an opportunity for yourself and for your business. What does this mean for you? Like, what would, if you was to be able to land an extra $50,000, $70,000, or $100,000 a year working for yourself, less than part-time, what does that mean for you? So there's no limit to how many contracts you can have, and you can have multiple contracts simultaneously. Okay. So what if I also told you that anybody can do this, no matter what products or services you provide? The government pays you 3 to 4 times more than private companies or private clients, and you can land multiple contracts on the same project by subcontracting. Here's an example of that. Recently, about a year ago, I want to say, I landed a contract with this communications firm. There was a huge contract by the Port of San Francisco, and it was like a $200,000 contract, but they were going to break that into like 3 or 4, or I think it was like they wanted to award it to 5 different firms, right? So what I did as a photographer, I submitted a proposal to all 5 firms. All 5 firms landed the contract. So instead of just 1 contract, I ended up getting 5 contracts with 5 different firms on the exact same project, right? So that's what I mean by you can land multiple contracts on the same project by subcontracting. So there's going to be 2 ways to land contracts. One is at a prime contractor, which means if you are let's just say you're a marketing consultant, right? And there's a contract specifically for marketing consulting. That's a prime contractor, right? So if you're a marketing consulting and there's a public relations contract that comes out, then you as a marketer, you can offer your marketing part of the service to this public relations firm and y'all can work together. So you'll be working as a subcontractor to provide just the marketing scope of that. So those are the two main primary ways to land contracts with the government. And here's the good part. You can contract on the local, regional, and federal level, right? So with the local agency, that's the city and county. With the regional, that's most likely the state, like the state of California, state of Texas, wherever, state of Georgia. And then you can land contracts with the U.S. federal government, which is U.S. wide. So that's basically in America. You can grow and expand your business through the U.S. federal government anywhere, which means if you are marketing, social media marketing person, you can do a contract that's somewhere out in Georgia, right? And you provide a remote service. You've grown and expanded your business. But if you do something more like hands-on, like what I do, photography or something like that, and there's a contract over in Miami or something like that, then I can hire a local Miami photography firm to do that work. But the contract came through me, which means I'm going to get paid and then I'm going to pay them a little bit of that, right? So this is just like to get you thinking about different ways that you can leverage your business to grow your business and expand your business beyond just where you are locally. So here are the certain types of certifications that there are, and there's multiple certifications, but these are the basics. So local business enterprise, there's minority. Local business enterprise is with the city and county. There's minority business enterprise. There's the small business enterprise. There's micro small businesses certifications. Then there's the woman-owned business certifications, and then there's LGBT group, and then there's disabled veteran business enterprise. So all of these certifications has a pool of money. So every contract that comes down from the government agency, they may have a goal for one or more of these categories. So if you're a woman and you're a minority and you're local in your city, you may be LGBT or whatever. Or you may be economically disadvantaged. So the more categories you fall in, the better leverage you have, and you can get certified in all of these categories. So getting certified, what do you need to get certified? So in the beginning, I talked about having a fundable business and being able to leverage business credit. So if you set your business up the right way in the beginning, with this checklist, having an EIN, your Dun and Brad number, a business license, a lease agreement, your ID, profit and loss statement, having a business bank account, all of these things right here not only sets you up to be able to start building business credit and being able to get business loans, but it also helps you be in position to start getting contracts and get certified as a small businesses. So it's pretty much just set your business up the right way, and then now you can do business. Now you can build your multi-million-dollar business basically with not even just with government contracts, but if you want, you can build business credit, and you can also get business loans and funding. So here's some of the agencies. And this is just an example. So the same way that the U.S. government has their certifications and they have their goals and their mandated obligations to give you contracts, corporations, private corporations like Apple, Kaiser, hospitals, Chevron, Wells Fargo, all the banks and stuff, these private corporations have their own system and their own obligations as well. That's called the supplier diversity program. That's a whole nother topic. So supplier diversity. So, but government contracts, some of the examples for city of the agencies, and there's so many, excuse me, and there's so many different agencies under every level. For every city, there's a multitude of agencies. For every state, there's a multitude of state agencies. And so, and on the U.S. federal level, there's so many federal departments as well. So these are just examples. City treasurer, the fire department, unified school district, the BART, that's the Department of Transportation, Pacific Gas and Electric, that's a public utility company, U.S. Department of Forestry, Park and Rec, airports, like all of these agencies, and these are just some of the agencies, have a pool of money that they have set aside for small businesses. All of these agencies have goals, mandated goals and obligations to utilize and leverage small businesses. And so if you don't know about it, now you know about it, right? So, but you have to position your business to be able to help them meet their goals. So you have leverage when you have your certification. So we designed a program to help you step by step. It's a new masterclass. It's called our Contracts Readiness Accelerator Training Program. And I know you may have some questions. I'm going to ask you to, write down your questions, because I know I'm going through a lot of information. And the first time, if this is your first time hearing this information, your head is probably spinning like, what? Like, wait, what? Say that again. But write your questions down, and I'm going to answer some of those questions at the end. But definitely our Contract Readiness Accelerator Program on how to grow your business with government contracts. It's a six-week program where I work with you once a week in a small, intimate group setting, so you can get the mind share of others, because I like small, intimate groups. You'll get direct coaching from me, receive personal feedback, guidance, and support. And what sets our program apart from any other type of small business development program is that we created a three-step process that works. I call it the BCP process. I own that. Nobody else teaches that method. The three-step BCP process. What does that stand for? Getting your business in order, getting your business certified, and then submitting proposals. So business certifications and proposals. It's a process that works. And what we do is we train, we give you all the training tools, resources you need to get your business certified and get you submitting proposals so that you can start landing contracts. So it's business certifications, proposal, rinse, and repeat. So you don't want to just stop with one contract. You want to keep rinsing and repeat. And once you have a winning business model, all you do is rinse and repeat. It's easy to get the next contract because now you already have your pricing in place. You already have your proposal you could use as a template to write your next proposal, right? So our three-step business certifications, proposal, rinse and repeat methodology, that's the trademark. That's something that I own. Our 6-week Contracts Readiness Accelerator program is designed to help you position to submit proposals and bid on government contracts, discover what contracts are available for what you do and how much the budget is, learn who to contact for information on specific contracts, and learn exactly how to submit your proposal and responses to contract opportunities. Excuse me. And before we go here, so if you enroll during the live webinar, our normal enrollment fee is $19.97 for the class. So it's a lot of value. You're going to more than triple, quadruple that on your first contract. Believe me, I know the numbers. But our fast track bonus is only $9.97 if you enroll during the webinar. But before I go there, I do want to pull up 5. I'm going to show you guys 5 industries. 5 random industries of contracts, just so you can see how real this information is. So I'm just going to switch over my screen. Give me one moment. 1 second. Okay. So FedBiz Ops is a federal database. Basically, they hold about 80% of all federal contracts information in this database. So anybody can look for this information. You would just have to understand what your industry is to pull up data on it. So what I wanted to pull up, the first industry is, I know the last webinar, there was someone on there who said that she was a life coach. And so afterwards, I took I did some research on life coach to find out exactly what it's called, because on a contract, it's not going to be called life coach. So after doing my research, I discovered that it's called professional development, and there is a code for professional development. And so I'm going to look up in California, her code, let me see, contract opportunities or a recent award for professional developers. Right. Professional. Let's see. It is 611. There we go. Educational services. So professional and management development training. And then what I'm going to do is go to the bottom and click search. So what this does is it brings up contracts for professional development. So leadership and development. This is life coach. Basically, if you're a life coach, this is how you discover what industry you're in. So, and this is how you discover, contracts that are available for you. So you kind of like I always say, you got to kind of think outside the box, but it's professional development. It's team building, it's team development. So I'm just going to bring up one. I'm going to see if there's any awards. I know I seen one, but I'm going to bring up this basically. So this is a solicitation that they don't have a response date. Original response August 22nd. So this is already passed, but basically it was a contract for a professional developer to come out and teach, basically come out and do some professional development with their team. Let me see something really quick. I wanted to see, I know I saw one that has a award amount. There we go. So here's one, exercise support specialist. That's professional development still, education and training. So this one was recently awarded. So I'm going to just show you some data here. So this is a professional development half day award. The contract amount, so basically for a half a day, $250, $500 for a full day, $475 for a full day, whatever. I guess it depends on what it is. But basically, who gets $500 for a full day of work? And then your day, really, their days is like, it's not an 8-hour day. It's like a 2 to 3 hour day, really. In government, that's how it just contracts over. Let's look at this one. Okay, this is the one that I wanted to show you guys. Okay, so this is a $43,000 contract for a professional developer to do a training, right? And I'm going to show you the period they had. It was like I think it's down here. But anyway, it was for like 4 days of work. I'm trying to see where it's set it at. Here we go. The period of performance, September 24th to September 28th. So what life coach makes this amount of money for 4 days of work? That's huge. So I just wanted to show you that. I'm going to pull up another random industry just to show you that anybody can do this. Real estate. Let's see. Real estate code is 531210. This is for real estate agencies. So if you have friends or family who are realtors or real estate agents, they have contracts. So this is an award right here. So this department right here was relocating, and the contract amount was for $55,000. It was just to help a department relocate, basically. So that's just goes to show you that the contracts, there's different amounts, there's different time of performances, so it's different amounts, depends on what industry you're in. I had a lady actually come up to me and say, you know what, you're so right about these contracts. She said just about 2 weeks ago, my friend, she does IT and she got a $200,000 contract and she never even left her home. So that's huge. She never even left her home, and they mailed her a check for $200,000 to do some IT work. I don't know if she had to do some work on the website or whatever it was, but that's huge for a small business, right? So, okay, here's another random one. Water. I know some people who bottle water, or they have their own bottle, water distribution, label or whatever. So for water, if you sell bottled water, 312-112. If you sell manufacturer bottled water, which when you go to events and games, you see people out on the corner hustling a bottle of water, but look how much they got for water. This contract is $12,000. This is a $12,000 for some bottles of water. So that's huge, right? So you don't have to hustle at games. You can still do that, but there's contracts for struggling small businesses. That's crazy, right? So emergency drinking water. There's all type of contracts for anybody. So that's when I say anybody can do this, anybody really can. So I'm gonna pull up 2, 3. So I said 5. I'm gonna pull up marketing. That's a big one. So marketing is 541-613. Marketing services. Okay. This is an award, strategic sales. This is a $257,000 marketing contract. That's basically promotions, doing flyers, getting the word out there, social media campaigns. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So, and I'm going to pull up one more just for the heck of it. Graphic design, office supplies. Here we go. Office supplies, 339-940. So this is for the people that, that say, well, I'm a retailer. I do retail. But you got to be specific. What is it in retail that you provide? Well, office supplies. It could be water. It could be, backpacks, whatever. But you got to know exactly what it is. So here they wanted some cartridges. So this is for ink, basically. This is an award that was just awarded in September, and it's to provide Canon ink, a $45,000 contract to supply that office supply. And then here they tell you exactly what they're looking for. The item number. This is the item number for the ink, and then the quantity, how many they want. So you can partner with companies like Office Depot or find somebody who can sell it to you wholesale if you have a retail license. Get these quantities and provide that. I'm pretty sure it didn't come up to 45,000, more like a couple thousand, but not 45,000, right? So I just wanted to show you that information. I think I showed like 5, but I just wanted to let y'all know. So and then I'm gonna get back over. One second, over to my presentation here. So, like I said, the value that you get for this training is an investment. So you enroll by you enroll on the webinar. Instead of $19.97, you get the price, the fast track bonus price of $9.97, which is nothing, or you can pay it in installments. Enroll by midnight tonight. I'm going to give you the exact proposal template that I use to land my first contract. That proposal template works. Is this basically a plug and play? Whatever your industry is and your prices, you just customize it and you use that. And here's another fast action bonus. Enroll in the next 20 minutes and you'll get how to write a winning capability statement. Basically, that's like a resume for your business. That's a free course. Another course that I have is normally $4.97, but you get that free if you enroll within the next 20 minutes. But here's the value for this information. Everything that I've learned, it took me 8 years to learn this information. 8 years. I've been able to simplify that for my trainees to teach it in a 6-week module. Bidding on contracts. It cost me $2,500 to learn that. Market research, because I wanted to learn from the experts. $2,500. Meet the buyers. That's how to find who's writing the checks, basically. $1,500. Contract readiness certifications, getting all my certifications set up and all of that. $3,000. So over $10,000 I spent learning this information, and you get to have access to it for just $9.97 if you enroll during the webinar or at the end of the webinar or by midnight tonight or whatever. Some people may not have that, but it's an investment. It's not something that you're just throwing out the window hoping that it works. You see the information, you see the data. It's real life information that's public and it's out there. It's really just an investment to grow your business, to learn, right? So we do have a payment program for people who just really, really, really can't afford to pay up front. We made it very simple. There's 6 payments of $197 for the group training, or we have 6 payments of $367 for the $1997 rate, and that's just for our one-on-one training, because some people don't, would rather be one-on-one instead of working in a group environment. Financing is available. We partnered with Behalf Bank, who will pay upfront on your behalf and charge you a fee, and then they'll bill you in installments. So you have options to do an installment an installment plan directly with myself, or you can go through Behalf Bank to get that done. Behalf.com is where you would go to sign up for that program. Assets versus liabilities. An asset is when you invest in something that helps you to gain more value than your original investment. That's basically what this program does. Liability is when you invest in something that brings you zero value. So, but I want you to not so much more focus on the amount of the contracts, the amount of money that that's out there for you, but the transformation that it will bring for you. What would this mean for you? For me, it meant that I was able to be financially independent, making my own income, to go out and get a car and not have to worry about somebody, having the power to get my car repossessed and all of that stuff. So having more time with my family, because like I said, I'm making this full-time, more than full-time, income, working less than part-time and for myself. So what does it mean for you? Think about those things. Time freedom. Does it mean a better lifestyle? Your ability to build a retirement income? And for me, community is huge. So being a philanthropist, being able to give back to my community. And then also the recognition that comes with government contracts, because you capture the attention of like all of the local, you can't help but to capture the attention of all the local political offices, because they're the ones who's writing these, legislation. They want to meet you. They want to know how they can help your business further grow, right? And so I personally landed more than $250,000 in the past couple of years. Like I said, my team just won a $9 million contract to help small businesses owners get contracts with BART. And I'm going to be just doing the marketing, the education part of that, building learning videos, explainer videos and everything like that. But that's for like a $400,000 contract. And so for me, it was huge. So I discovered the $1 Trillion Secret to Government Contracts and wrote my first ebook. I've received several grants and awards, news articles on my business success. This is the late Mayor Ed Lee. He was such an awesome person. But like I said, being in this industry, you attract local politicians. They want to know how they can help you further your business. And so meeting him, he saw what I was doing, and he said, you know what, I'm going to have you take pictures of our redevelopment in the projects, because they're redeveloping all the projects, called the RAD program, redeveloping all the hood, basically hood housing, and we're turning it into condos. We want you to document that. So that was huge to be able to to work with the mayor, and who has since passed on. But on one single contract alone, my first contract was $70,000. One single contract alone was $35,000 for 60 part-time days of work. You saw the data. I've been able to help over 100 entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs launch their business, get certified, land contracts, and also been able to hire freelancers. I've hired my first part-time employee. So that's huge when you can give back to your community. For me, the transformation for me is to be able to give back to my community. So what is your transformation? So I created this course to help others launch their business, if you haven't already launched your business, but also to go back and put those things in place in order so that you can have a successful business and to get certified and to get, land government contracts. And I work with you every step of the way. So what is that transformation for you? My job is to get you from the business launch to being your own boss. Some of us are already bosses, but I'm gonna just help you to boss on a whole nother level in a whole nother industry. The links to enroll, I'm actually gonna post it. But these are the links to enroll. The first one, CRT, is contract readiness training for $997. That's if you want to pay in full. The other one, CRT install, is the installation program for $197 a month for 6 months. But I'm going to also paste it to where you can just click on the link. So do you believe you can be successful if you follow my proven step-by-step method